any back and forth here, but just kind of give each candidate in order 5 minutes to introduce themselves, tell us about themselves, tell us how they got here, give us any information that they want us to have as we get to know everybody. So, Charles, I'll turn the floor over to you.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's so good to be here. And for those of you who do not know me, I am Charles Sumter. I've lived in the Alexandria community over 15 years. And so I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself, my background, and why I'm running for public office now. Again, because I just did a couple of weeks ago for state senate. So I'm running for city council now because a lot of the issues I talked about in the Senate race still are issues that hit us at the local level. Affordability, stability, and opportunity are not abstract policy debates to me. They're personal. I was raised in New York City, in the housing projects in the South Bronx by two parents who were union workers, and who worked tremendously hard to keep a roof over our heads and food on our table. And this helped my sister and I go on to college with the additional help of scholarships and student loans. And as I always say, there was no safety net beyond my family, my community, and the belief that if you worked hard and stuck together, you could move forward. And that experience stays with me. It stays with me all these years. It shapes my priorities and how I work. I began my career on Capitol Hill. I worked for Congressman Charlie Rangel from New York, and then I was a staffer on the DC City Council. And as a staffer, I worked on a number of issues from expanding capital for small businesses. And I also helped pass significant environmental legislation, such as the DC bag tax back in 2009, which was an effort to help clean up the Anacostia River, which it has done tremendously well since then. I've spent years working within large, complex institutions. I worked at DOD for many years. I've worked at consulting firms like Deloitte, where results matter, deadlines are real, and accountabilities are non-negotiable. And today I work for the world's largest environmental conservation organization, helping to drive people-centered strategies around talent and our impact across all of my roles, from council to working at Deloitte. I've built a reputation of showing up, doing the hard work, and getting things done. And this is why I support stronger eviction protection for renters, expanded tenant resources, and policies that keep people stably housed before they reach that crisis point of eviction. It's also why I'm a strong advocate for apprenticeships, workforce pathways, and paid, that's important, paid hands-on learning opportunities. Four-year college is great. I've done it, but it shouldn't be the only route to economic security. My commitment to equity and belonging also shows up in the community work that I've been doing in Alexandria for a number of years. As the former chair of the Alexandria Commission on HIV/AIDS, I also chaired the Alexandria School Health Advisory Board. I saw firsthand how housing instability, health outcomes, and economic stress are deeply connected. So much so that I started a nonprofit in 2017 called Safe Space Nova. And it was really about providing a safe space, literally, for LGBTQ youth who were thrown out of their homes for whatever reason, for being who they were. And I remember that as a kid, coming to terms with my own sexuality, who I was. Luckily, I had parents who cared and loved me regardless. But that was not the case for a lot of kids when I came here and would do volunteering and do mentoring, and I would just see it. So there was a gap. So we created that nonprofit. We helped kids with homelessness. We helped kids feel better about themselves, learn about how to take care of themselves. Many of our students have gone on to college, have graduated at this point. So we've literally helped thousands of kids across not just Alexandria, Northern Virginia, but Maryland and DC as well. These experiences have reinforced my belief that local government, nonprofits, these decisions can deepen hardship or create real pathways to dignity and stability. And obviously, because the climate crisis is real, as we can see, it's already affecting Alexandria. I want us to think bigger and bolder. So, in addition to strengthening our work on stormwater management and flood mitigation, I want to support investing in a youth climate corps to expand the local talent pipeline for the next generation of environmental conservationists, providing with, again, paid hands-on experience to help Alexandria build long-term climate resilience. So I'm running for this seat because Alexandria should be a place where working families, seniors, young people, immigrants, newcomers can build a future in this city, not just a place for those who are already connected and already have access. I bring a wealth of experience to this role. I have deep community roots and have a strong work ethic. And so I'm ready to put all that to work for the city to make it more affordable, resilient, and accountable. And so thank you for having me here tonight. I ask you for your vote and your support and consideration. Thank you.
Thank you. Let the record show we went over just about a minute. That's fine. I'll let any of the rest of you guys do the same thing. We really appreciate you giving that introduction. And thank you for being here. Next on the list needs no introduction. Tim, take it away.
Thanks, Elena. And it is and it's weird. I would say it's weird to see my face as the centerpiece here. So I'm going to put my phone in front of my face here. But it's really good to be here at home on my own home turf with the Delray Civic Association. Thank you all for this opportunity to speak with you and share about why I'm running for council. It has been the Delray Civic Citizens Association has been integral to my experience in Alexandria. And I wanted to really highlight that with this 5-minute speech here. I say that because 9 years ago, when the Navy moved Alyssa and I here, it was the first weekend that we were here that the Delray Citizens Association was involved with a Rebuilding Together project with the Delray Business Association. And I remember it was in a corner a lot home, and we were fixing a fence or we were fixing the front porch. And I remember seeing Gail early on in those days. And I was like, who is this woman? She seemed I had seen her before in one of the first days we were there, and I saw her on the project. I'm like, I need to know this person. She seems to be, telling people what to do or how to, get involved. And so that was where she really brought me in and plugged me into Delray Citizens Association. And here I am today as a president of Delray Civic Association and running for council. That was 9 years ago. So much has happened in 9 years. I continued to get involved in the community. When I switched over from active duty in the Navy to being a reservist, went to law school. There was a point during my law school experience that I actually paused law school and went back out into the community as a pharmacist during the COVID vaccine evolution to provide vaccines to our neighbors. And that was a formative experience for me because that was a time where I really saw the power of local government, local institutions showing up for people in an immense time of chaos and uncertainty. That I was able to actually see people's demeanors and a whole experience change as the fear turned into hope. And that's really what's driving me today to run for office, because I believe in the power of local government and this time of uncertainty, national uncertainty, things are going on in Washington. We need to focus in on the local and see what is it that we can do here in Alexandria to be that positive force for good and provide hope to people here. And Delray Civic Association has been there along the way to prepare me for this moment. I think about all the things that we've been able to do together. So many events that we have put on, whether it's been Garden Fest or our chili cook-off, our home and garden tour, these are things that bring people together, and that is what forms the social safety net of our community. is that experience that I want to then take to council to continue to reinforce the interconnectedness that we have with each other. I also think about uh, all of the planning projects. So it's not just the fun things that we've done together, showing up at Garden Fest and doing some rebuild projects, but we've also seen a lot of planning projects come before our association, whether it be 2525 Mount Vernon twice, or digging into the weeds of the history of the Hyundai dealership lots and what was the intention 20 years ago, and how do we balance that with a good core commercial use within our community. We've also looked at bonus height text amendment, zoning for housing, and yes, of course, the arena. We have been through a lot together. And I think during that time, what you've seen from me, or at least I hope you've seen from me, is that I show up and I do the homework and I really dig into the details and bring us together as a community so that we can have the discussions we need to have on these important issues. This is the experience that I will take to council. Like I said, this association has been crucial to my development as someone who's continuously showing up for others, raising my hand in the community, to be that positive force for good and that force for hope for other people. And I just want you to leave you with that I am why should you vote for me? We have so many qualified candidates here, wonderful people who also show up for their community. Why vote for me? I have served at the neighborhood level. I've served at the city level within a board and commission, and I've advocated in Richmond for a lot of protections that we need to see actually effectuated here within the city. I have the strategic mind of a naval officer. I have the heart of a pharmacist, and um, I also have the analytical rigor of an attorney. So I bring all of these experiences together to before you to ask for your vote and put me in council. That's all.
Great. Thank you so much, Tim. All right, next up we have Roberto Gomez.
Hello, everyone. I'm Roberto, and I'm running for council, if you didn't know that already. I'm a small business owner, and I'm also the founder and executive director of an award-winning nonprofit that provides career opportunities to youth in the skilled trades. And at the very core of my being is a spirit of service for the sake of making lives better. I was initially going to talk about solving the big issues that are needed to be solved in Delray, but ever since we got rid of JD Vance, I figured I'd just talk about the small ones. So I'm no stranger to Delray. I patroned the businesses there, including Delray Hardware. And I understand what it's like to feel like my voice isn't heard, which is why I actually started the nonprofit that I did in the first place. I bring new perspective and additional voices to the table. And I think that's important right now in the city of Alexandria with a lot of the challenges we're facing. When we talk about safety, I think that for a long time in Alexandria, we found ourselves, basically pitting neighborhoods against neighborhoods, and that's frustrating, right? It's frustrating to hear that the West End safety is more important than Delray, or Rosemont safety is more important than Arlandria. I think that we need to find common ground and open up pathways for citizens and citizen associations to bring their voice to council. I intend on representing all voices in the city of Alexandria. And I just want to go back into why I started a nonprofit. I'm a small business owner, and the trades changed my life. They provided me an opportunity to live a quality of life I think all people should be entitled to. I actually self-funded that initiative for 3 years, before ever knowing, what a nonprofit was. But once I figured out that I needed to become sustainable and there was more need than I could possibly handle myself, I actually signed up to speak at city council and got really involved because I was running out of resources to provide these opportunities for very vulnerable people in our community. And through that, kind of getting tired with the way things were, I started to get deeply involved and serve on a lot of boards and commissions and forums in the city. I serve on the Alexandria Police Foundation. I serve on the Sheriff's Community Advisory Board. I serve on the Alexandria Community Safety Forum. I serve on the Alexandria Gang Task Force. I serve on the ACPS CT Advisory Committee, really just to bring voices to the table. I'll give you an example. I was approached not long ago about people's displeasure with my sitting on the sheriff's advisory board because people are not happy with Sheriff Casey's perceived cooperation with ICE. And my response to that question was, if I'm not at that table disagreeing with people in rooms where decisions are made, who's left to do it? And that's what I intend to bring to council. I intend to stand up for people who feel like their voices aren't being heard. And I've done a lot of work in Delray on homes. I own a small residential remodeling company. I've even volunteered my time and resources and skill sets to, Duncan Library, your Halloween extravaganza spooky event there. We actually built the photography stand in front of the stationary train car there, the all black one. I think that libraries are important as well. I think they're safe spaces. I think that as Alexandrians, we should be coming together and making sure everybody feels included in every decision we make, every space we have, every business we have. And that's what I intend to bring to the table. I'm grateful to be amongst other candidates who are, like Tim said, very qualified, bring their own unique perspectives to what we're doing. I have an interest in Delray, including ensuring that I'm talking to citizens about the safety walks you do there, right? And what does that mean? What changes do you want to bring to the table? Is it stop signs? Is it lowering the speed limit? Is it taking care of the roads? Is it ensuring that we're preparing better next time we have an unexpected snowstorm that's impacting businesses and kids going to school and people going to work? And I intend to challenge those things in a good way. So that's why I'm running. I'll put my Roberto for Council website in the chat, and I ask that you go not just vote for me, but just go out and vote. Go out and vote, and we'll see what happens. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And yeah, please put your website in the chat. That's great, so that people can go there and check it out and read more. Thank you. Caesar.
Hey everyone, thank you for having me here. For a lot of you guys, I am new, and to another portion, I am way too young to be in this race. So let me tell you my story, how I got here. I've been a resident of Alexandria almost 4 years. Like many of us before, I was brought here to the United States undocumentedly by my mother and my 2 older sisters. How that happened, that's another story. But I've been gifted the privilege to become a U.S. citizen. I served time in the United States Army, and now I am a middle school teacher. We can go about details on that. But my spark for local politics and politics in general, because according to ALX now, I'm also a TikToker, came not only when I started seeing my people being attacked. Immigrants like all over the country, whether you be somebody from Somalia or somebody from Mexico like myself. This story was personal for me. And politics didn't bring me to politics. My experiences did. I'm running for Alexandria City Council because a lot of the youth voters like myself, we've been feeling unheard. A lot of the positions, whether it be national or state or even local, that we've been hearing from folks who are in now, we just don't agree with. And a lot of the conversations that I have across the city, I'm from the West End, by the way, just had to rep that up there, are that they feel like they're not being heard. And when I announced my candidacy, a lot of them actually genuinely came to me and they said, hey, we're glad you're here, but what do you bring to the table? And what I keep telling everyone, and everybody keeps asking me, what do you bring to the table? I don't come with fancy titles. I'm in commissions. I am in committees. I just recently joined the Affordable Housing Committee. And when I sit in those tables, I get to hear what our actual plans are going to affect us. A lot of young voters and people like myself. I am a newcomer. I ain't going to be honest with that. And when we talk of affordability, me as a renter, somebody who lives paycheck to paycheck and is a middle school teacher, it's way different from somebody who lives in Delray, from somebody who lives in Arlandia and Chilidagua, somebody who lives in Potomac Yards. So when I talk about affordability, I'm talking about advancing it. I'm talking about let's make sure that we address it on every tax bracket level. Not just saying, hey, we're going to make everything affordable, but not not really address the issue that, hey, affordability means different for somebody who works at Lowe's versus somebody who's a teacher like myself versus someone who's an attorney, right? And I also, the last 2 years being behind the classroom, I see what teachers, I see what my colleagues go through, I see what students go through. I also want to be a great partner to the school board. I said it in the Monday meeting, got me a little bit in trouble. I'm for the collective bargaining. Unions saved a lot of my family members, and I really appreciate the job that unions do. And in terms of fighting ICE and holding Sheriff, I'm sorry, Sheriff Casey, if you're hearing this, but we have to hold each other accountable if we also want to move forward as a Democratic Party. We can't just say we're out, ICE out, and constantly have somebody who has been collaborating with. And I'm not scared to call that out. This is personal for me. And as somebody who worn the uniform, Tim also knows this. We all swear an oath, and we have to hold that accountable. And I'm not gonna sit here and tell you, hey, vote for me, because at the end of the day, this is about you and the decisions that you guys want to make. I feel that I'm highly qualified for this. I may not have those titles, and what I lacked on experience and political experience, I make up for integrity. I make up for commitment and service. You guys can look at all my history. I made the joke on Monday about my students calling me the little Lego teacher because they can replace me and put me all over the place. But thank you for giving me the platform that you guys are giving me. I feel really privileged to be here tonight as somebody who is a newcomer to this city. I love DRCA. I love Pork Barrel. That's the spot for me. My girlfriend, every time she's digging pork, we're up there. But I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that I know a lot of the issues. And that is one of the main reasons I'm running. I'm hearing so much. And if I can be a contributing factor to making young voices and people who are working paycheck to paycheck in the working class, I'm going to do it. And same with educators. I'm one of you. I actually have a lot of homework I have to do after this. So I'm waiting to hear the great Sandy Marks right after me. But thank you for giving me the platform to be here. I hope you vote for me. I hope you vote, actually. We have such a plate. Tim, Charles, Sandy, Roberto, you guys are amazing, by the way. Thank you for having me here, Elena, and DRCA. And I'm Cesar Madison Tapia. I will also put my information down. Thank you.
Please do. Thank you so much for being here. And Sandy, on to you.
Hello. Hi. It's very strange. This is very strange. You're right, Tim. It's very strange seeing yourself. I will keep things hopefully direct. I moved to Delray 23 or so years ago. I was just talking to my best friend who I met living next door to her in a duplex on Bellefonte, years and years ago before we had kids, when we were just, a couple of girls living in Delray. It was before we had pavers, we had babies, we were pushing them in strollers down really very cracked sidewalks. Monroe was the end of Delray. There was a gas station at DRP. It was a different time. So I've met a lot of you here and a lot of people who aren't on this call just in life. But I met several of you actually in 2017 when I, along with actually Jen Walker, I don't know if she's on the call, started Indivisible Delray. And we had about 300 people, 300 really incredible people meeting at Commonwealth Baptist Church every week. So many of the people on here, we know each other very different ways. When I bought this house, when I searched for it, the search criteria was actually a half a mile radius to the dairy godmother. So those are my priorities as a candidate, is frozen custard. Seriously though, many people in this city don't realize that I live here, that I live in Delray. And that's because, I was chair of the Alexandria Democratic Committee for 4 years. And I knocked every single precinct in the whole city. I have walked a lot of neighborhoods in Alexandria. and actually moved the ADC here to Mount Vernon Avenue below Joy Dreams in 2025. And by the way, the most active and dependable voting precinct in the Commonwealth of Virginia. So shout out to all of you for being incredible voters. I do live here though, and I plan to live here for life. I hope my kids can grow up and move back here and afford to live in Delray. Like you, I am aware of the issues facing Delray, and I know there are some cliche ones. I mean, I know, not cliche, I know there are ones we sort of all universally know, right? We have stormwater issues. We need to talk about safety. You know, we have a very vibrant Main Street, but you know, there's a reason why we have law enforcement on, or why you have law enforcement on these meetings every month. I care very much about, you know, bike and pedestrian safety, which is an issue for all of us. But mostly to me, Delray is a beautiful, walkable community that I know I really love. It is a place where my kids walk and bike to school, to work, you know, working down the avenue, which was kind of the dream. You know, at Bagel Uprising, by the way, you should go get bagels from Cooper. And they can experience independence really safely around trusted adults that are not me, who are always watching out for them. And I do think that's something that a lot of other communities really want to be able to emulate. I recently was saying to some neighbors during this snowstorm, I know Jen Walker's whole thing is spread kindness, build community. I would like to propose a new sign for Delray that in 2026, I think it's very needed, that would say something like, you know, Delray, we touch grass. I think we really get out and sort of embody this community, just community altruism and respect, which I think a lot of people are jealous of. And I can say that because I just left a meeting in Old Town and they specifically raised Delray and our business community and our citizenry and the community bond that we seem to have. They raised spread kindness, build community, which I thought was, I mean, alarming. And I will tell you what I told them. I told them that Delray's magic specifically is connection. We have a variety of styles and types of housing. We are welcoming to our neighbors of all walks of life. We value that. We underline it. We're proud of it. But mostly it is made up of the Jens and the Sues and the Gails and Pats and Evas and Tims and Caitlins and Katies and Elizabeths and all these people that go out of their way, that decided we are going to do this place-based work and we are going to create a community that people in, I mean, historic Old Town are really envious of. And ultimately, the thing that I love a lot is the sort of community altruism that we exhibit here. We raise money for our playground. We buy the picnic tables outside of the library. We care deeply about the whole city. We take care of our community and we vote and we participate in ways that prioritize every child and every family in the city, which I really respect. So I will tell you what I need to tell you as a candidate, which is that I share your ethos. In this campaign specifically, as I always have, but right now out loud into a microphone, I am talking about place-based targeted programming and consideration of citywide values like valuing public education, housing affordability, equity, and access as the key to equity. And this includes gun violence prevention, it includes climate justice, and also defending democracy. That is something we could leave off, obviously, in 2026. We need to say this out loud. I hope you all know, given my background and just knowing me personally, that I will absolutely and unequivocally protect our LGBTQ and immigrant neighbors with absolutely everything I've got, 100%, just like anyone in Delray would. And I learned that here. I know that you need to know I am an ACPS parent and have been so for 10 years, which is a sorely unrepresented point of view on the governing body that funds our school system. You know that I represent Delray's general values and ethos. I am proud to have so many leaders in Delray, the support and endorsement of them, like, you know, Jen and Sue, like school board member Ryan Reyna, like Lonnie Rich and others. Oh, sorry, Elena. Bottom line, when I sit down in the seat if you elect me to do that, and I've told this to labor, to the choice movement, to the climate folks, when I walk into that room and the door closes behind me, what I want you to know is you are coming in there with me. You've got someone in the room you can trust to advocate for you and for this neighborhood. And lastly, I will just say, I'm coming for the chili cook-off trophy. So watch out, because I'm a
Love it.
terrible cook, but I'm entering. That is all.
Love it. Thank you so much. Thank you, all of you. All right, someone keep me honest here, because we're doing a lot of voting. My understanding is that this is a firehouse primary, what we're doing, correct? It's on Saturday, February 21st. And the places that you can vote are Beatley Central Library, but the more convenient one for us in Delray is Chick Armstrong Rec Center, which is the Cora Kelly Rec Center. Have I got that correct? Voting lovers of Delray, have I got it? Okay, good. So those are the places to vote, and it's on a Saturday this time. So we're mixing it up, voting in a different way, in a different place, just keeping the streak alive. Thank you, all 5 of you, so much for being here tonight with us. We really appreciate you taking the time to introduce yourselves and to share yourselves with the DRCA. Thank you so much.